people are acting on a whole nother level on that. So yeah, we just see that karma train coming through. Choo-choo. Mood of the day. Really? You gotta give us more credit than that. Some people, buckle up, buttercup. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Welcome back, everyone, to Mona's Take. I am your host, Mona Rose, and we're here to talk about everything reality TV. If you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss anything I have coming up. Today's video is, again, Big Brother Live Feeds. There is so much going on, so I'm going to jump right in. Taylor is seen at one point talking to herself in the mirror and talking to the cameras. And she says, "Throughout the week, you'll probably catch me practicing my speech. It's going to be scorching, scathing. My final plea won't be about me. It'll be about the ways the person sitting next to me attempted to manipulate me, use me, and will lose to me." Oh, I hope it's, she's been talking about her speech. I haven't heard it, but she's been talking about it for the last 2 days, and I cannot wait to hear that speech. Taylor and Joseph are in the bathroom. Joseph's telling her how beautiful she is, and yada, yada, yada. People are walking in and out. Andy gets jealous. It's ridiculous. Nicole tells Taylor that she feels like it can go either way, that she'd rather not go on the block. She's starting to get second thoughts about being a pawn. She doesn't want to be pooched. And the same thing with Amira. She's seen it 2 weeks in a row, so she doesn't want her third week to be going out the door. She tells her that the leftovers... I love the leftovers. I keep thinking about them. She keeps saying that she let others make her game decisions for her and play her game. She's blaming everything that she's done so far on Amira. And I'm going to go over this quickly. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but Paloma did make a TikTok, which she took down rather quickly when she found out it wasn't going to go her way. Saying that she didn't bully Taylor, that Taylor's the one bullied her, and what happens when you get bullied, you clap back. No, that's not what happens when you get bullied. I was bullied severely in high school, and I was afraid of my own shadow. And that's why people bully, is because they think that person is not going to react. They're not going to have any consequences for it. They're not going to stand up for themselves. And in most cases, they don't. Anyway, she promptly took it down. I'm imagining it's because CBS probably threatened to sue her because she said that the media and the show do all this stuff and they don't care about people's mental health. And I want to explain something about Terrence. I had a couple people message me yesterday. I wasn't saying that Terrence was a bad player and he was playing all the fields. What I meant was, depending on who he's talking to, he says something different. So I haven't gotten a good grasp of where he stands and who he actually backs in the game. Did not mean anything bad by it whatsoever. He's playing the best game in the house as far as I'm concerned, because he's sitting back and getting in all these conversations and listening and taking notes and putting it in his pocket to use later. I'm just curious where he's going to actually land, I guess. I don't think he trusts Nicole and Daniel. I think he just lets them ramble to him. Nicole meets with Monty, and she starts off by saying she has a so-so relationship with the girls, which we know that's bullcrap. Said that Amira would tell her the next targets were this and that, and she just went along with it. She said she's clearly played an honest game, a loyal game, with a lot of integrity, and maybe to a fault. Maybe I'm just too honest. She tells Monty that she doesn't want to go on the block, and Monty says he hasn't thought of anybody else to put on the block, so do you have other plans? Of course, she didn't name any names, and then she says that in week 1 she really liked Taylor, but then she let others cloud her judgment. She said she's scared to go on the block, and Monty actually laughs in her face when she says that. He's like, "What? You're scared? Seriously?" And she said she just doesn't know if she has the votes to stay, and she's nervous. She tells Monty that she's observant, and after her talk with Taylor this morning, she says that Taylor's a big shield and that she understands why people are keeping her in the game. And that's why she picked her for a partner. Nicole says that Michael and Brittany should be the replacement and vote out Brittany. Still after Brittany, Nicole talks to Terrence and Daniel, and they have put together that Taylor does have people backing her, that she's way too comfortable in the house. And the reason they're saying that's because she's not pouting anymore. She's not laying in her bed feeling ostracized. She's out, she's laughing, she's cutting up with other house guests. They're spending time with her, and she's enjoying herself in the BB house. I know, what a concept. Nicole is just a vulgar person. Her and Daniel and Terrence are standing at the pool table. And Taylor walks by in a pair of shorts and a bathing suit top. Now, mind you, there's others that are running around out there with their butts hanging out. But that's neither here nor there. She tells them if she wants to go around flaunting her beep, I won't say the word, but you can insert the word, and think of female parts. That's her game. That's not my game. I have too much dignity for that. And she says, I hope that when she gets out that she watches this back. And Daniel inserts himself and says she won't learn anything. That's just who she is. Their hate for her is certifiable. Daniel says if they don't get together today, if they don't form this new alliance, that the guys, and when he's talking about the guys, he's talking about Monty and Joseph. The Monty and Joseph are going to steamroll the game. They've got people they can pull in for numbers that are outcast. And that if they don't form this new alliance and get Monty and Joseph on the block, that they're going to steamroll this game and none of them are going to have a chance to win. Daniel's convinced that Jasmine, Turner, Brittany, and Michael are working with Monty. And she's got most of them, right? Indy cleans out... Oh, God, this is horrible. Indy cleans out the fridge and evidently used a lot of the stuff that was in there from Turner's HOH. Now, Turner is a have-not. He can't eat. On top of that, he has a lot of diet restrictions, evidently, because he's a vegetarian and a vegan and all kinds of stuff, so he can't eat the same foods that everybody else does. So Indy used all this stuff for luncheon for the whole house and kind of got under Turner's skin. Kyle and Daniel talk, and Daniel asked him how his talk with Nicole went. And he said it went good, that, she started out by asking me not to use the veto. But then I guess she got more comfortable and said that it was okay to use the veto and still backdoor Taylor. Daniel makes the observation that she's in the HOH room a lot more often. And that if they don't change this stuff up, Monty and Joseph are running away for the game. Kyle said that his gut tells him he can trust Monty. And Daniel says that Monty's not going to put up Turner and Jasmine because he's working with them. Daniel says that Turner, Taylor, and Brittany are working with them. And Kyle's like, seriously? No way, dude. You seriously think that Brittany, Taylor, and Turner are working together? Really? And he's playing it off, and he's like, yep, I totally believe they're all working together. He's like, no way, man. No way. It's like, that's crazy. Jasmine and Alyssa talk outside, and they're talking about Brittany and say that Brittany said the reason her and Taylor clicked is because they're both outcast. And Jasmine said, girl, you make yourself an outcast. And trying to listen to a conversation with Jasmine is so hard because she's constantly eating and smacking on something. She's a have-not this week, so she walks around with a cup of sugar with pickles in it. And she like is constantly dipping it in the sugar and licking it, and dipping it in the sugar and licking it, and then maybe crunching once in a while. It's so hard to hear what's going on if she's in a conversation. While Jasmine is talking to Alyssa, Nicole sneaks up behind Alyssa. Alyssa and Jasmine are laying in the lounge chairs outside. And Nicole sneaks up behind them to scare Alyssa. Well, when she did, she got a reality check because Alyssa turned around and punched her in the face. She did scare her, and she got a reaction, but I don't quite think it was the reaction that she thought it was going to be, because Alyssa punched her square in her face. Anyway, I thought that was funny. The house guests got a little bit of alcohol and a cake for Michael's birthday. And so Taylor goes right into making the cake. And Indy's like, Michael, do you want me and Nicole to come make the cake for you? And he's like, no, that's okay. Taylor's making it. And that went up their ass sideways. I loved it. So now the house is shifted. Michael brought up some good points. Now they don't know if it's a good idea to take Alyssa and Indy off the block. Because if Indy joins... Okay, if she has to join a pair, they're thinking that they can get her to join Michael and Brittany. But if she doesn't have to join a pair and she can join Monty and them and break them up, that she would probably pick Joseph. So that would still leave Michael and Brittany exposed or in danger, because they would be a good backdoor plan. Nobody's going to put Michael on the block and give him a chance at veto. And that's what they're afraid of, that Michael and Brittany would be more likely to be nominated than the rest of them. So they're thinking that if they keep Alyssa and Indy on the block and they vote out Alyssa, they can get Indy to go with Michael and Brittany. And then all of them are covered for next week. So it doesn't matter who gets nominated to go up next week. They have the numbers for the veto. They have the numbers to bring them down. They have the numbers to vote the other side out. So this talk's going back and forth. So at this point, they have two choices. They can keep Alyssa and Indy on the block, hoping that she chooses Brittany and Michael, and all the leftovers should be safe. Or plan B is to backdoor Nicole, and Taylor would pick Alyssa and Indy, which would still leave Michael and Brittany vulnerable. First thing this morning, Monty catches Daniel downstairs, and he's like, dude, I need to talk to you. Is Nicole up? He's like, not yet. And he's like, well, I'm going to make some breakfast, but when you get a chance, I need y'all in my room. Some things went on last night, and some stuff has come to my attention, and we need to talk. So Daniel immediately goes and tells Kyle. And Kyle said, what's up? Do you think something's changed? He's like, I don't know, dude. He's like, I think they realize that they don't have enough votes to get Nicole out. So Kyle talks to Nicole. Nicole says, what happened? Kyle's like, I don't know. Daniel just told me that Monty wanted to talk to him. And about that time, Daniel comes in and he's like, no, Monty wants to talk to me and Nicole together. And Kyle's like, for what? So he's acting dumb. He's doing a good job. Kyle tells Nicole that either way, he's got her back. Nicole says that Monty, Joseph, Turner, Taylor, Michael, Brittany are all working together and are in an alliance. And the only one that she's missing is Kyle, and that's because Kyle was not up in the HOH room last night. Everybody noticed that everybody else in the leftovers were up there for a couple hours by themselves. Nicole and Daniel go to meet with Monty. Monty tells them that Jasmine told him about Nicole lying to her face about the whole Popax thing. He tells them that Amira had told Jasmine as she was going out the door not to trust Daniel and Nicole. He says, I don't want my week to be a surprise and you go home on my watch. He sells the fact that he doesn't want to look like a fool. He says, if Jasmine, Alyssa, and Indy get HOH, I think they're going for you guys. So I need to protect you guys and not put you on the block. And he's really trying to sell this. He's told them, Jasmine doesn't trust you. Alyssa came in here, she talked to me, she doesn't trust you. Indy came in here and talked to me and she doesn't trust you. So that's 3 votes that you think you have that you don't actually have. While this is going on, Kyle tells Michael that Daniel and Taylor are onto them. I'm sorry, I put Taylor. Daniel and Nicole are onto them. And Michael says, I guess we have to be more careful, but after this week, it's not going to really matter anyway. At the same time this conversation is going on, Jasmine's talking to Indy outside. And she says she's coming off a slop Wednesday and that she's taking the night shift because she's going to find out what the hell's going on in this house. Daniel tells Kyle everything that Money said, and he said, I don't believe him. He's playing me. They don't have the numbers. This is our chance to get Taylor out. He doesn't want me to use it, so therefore I'm going to use it. And he's like, he tried to turn us against Jasmine and Alyssa and Indy, but I know we're all tied and they all trust us. And he's just lying. Oh, in the other room, Nicole's having a talk with Michael, telling him that she believes everything Monty just said. I'm like, dude, y'all are starting way too early for this. So they've had the renown ceremony. Daniel was adamant that they used the veto to pull off Alyssa and Indy and put up Taylor and Nicole. Because he is so cocky that he doesn't believe anything Monty has told him. That Monty is lying to him and that Monty didn't want Taylor to go home. And he's convinced they have the numbers to send Taylor home. So he used the veto to pull off Alyssa and Indy, which in turn Monty replaced with Taylor and Nicole. So now, come Thursday night, when they vote Nicole's ass out the door, it's going to be solely Daniel's responsibility, because the whole Leftovers Alliance are like, we're going to be like, man, we tried to tell y'all. We tried to tell y'all they didn't trust y'all. We can blame the 3 votes that went on the other side. We can say that was Jasmine and Daniel and Nicole. And Alyssa and Indy. We can say any of those voted with the other side. So, I cannot wait for Taylor's speech come Thursday night. Taylor does seem a little upset. I've got to get to the bottom of that when I get back to watching the feeds. I don't know if it's just because Daniel was so adamant about it, or maybe what he said in the speech. I don't know. So I got to get to the bottom of that and find out why she's so upset. So, Nicole and Taylor are on the block. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have a great day. And as always, much love.